Hi guys! Welcome to my channel. I'm Juliana. If you've been on fashion TikTok at all for the past year, you've probably seen this style aesthetic called Balletcore. It's personally one of the styles that I've been most interested in and one that I feel like will be really big this spring season. I definitely wanted to make a video deep diving into this aesthetic. So welcome to your guide on how to dress Balletcore. Like many other aesthetics that have been inspired by the certain garments worn by a specific profession, think like military and camo, these outfits are definitely not necessarily accurate to what ballerinas actually wear to dance class. I just like to think of it as a sort of idealistic interpretation and a romanticism of the ballet dancer style. The balletcore aesthetic definitely draws a lot of parallels to the current coquette and Pilates princess aesthetics, which I also have plans to make videos diving into those aesthetics as well. I personally would describe this style as being hyper feminine yet still functional, and there are definitely variations in balletcore that you can implement to make your outfits more athletic or more streetwear-esque. I also think of this style as a sort of reimagining of the that girl aesthetic, because it really makes you feel like the main character and how much you romanticize your life through your personal style. Depending on how campy you go with it, it can definitely be an approachable everyday style because it still fits within the realm of normal clothing. It just has certain subtle accents that make it more feminine. Like with all of these other fashion aesthetics that have been popping up, I just think that they're really fun and an easy way to experiment with your personal style. Like I mentioned earlier, you can really play with how formal or campy you want your balletcore outfit to look. On the one hand, there are outfits that are really casual and can border on streetwear. Then there are also more dressy styles that can resemble a ballerina's performance outfit. There's also, again, the more campy route that seems like almost the caricature of a ballet dancer. It's all based on where you want to go with it and where you lie on the girly to edgy spectrum. If you want to try this aesthetic but don't really know where to go to buy these kinds of items, I've actually created a folder that I've linked down below that's a folder of items in my LTK that I think make for a really great starter kit. Okay, I'm going to break down this video into these sections that I have left timestamps for in the description, but without further ado, let's start. So first, color. This aesthetic is very loyal to a neutral and pastel color palette. This includes shades like light pinks, creams, whites, tans, grays, and blacks. Basically all of the colors that you associate with ballet. It doesn't really stray away from this color palette, which is honestly kind of nice because all you need are certain key pieces that really embody the balletcore aesthetic, and you can just pair them with athletic gear or just non-dance wear that is of the same color palette. Something that's really nice is if you're not sure where to start, there's definitely a certain formula you can follow with these outfits. And I think that's because there's only so many types of outfits that normal people tend to conjure up when they think of a ballerina. So for tops, leotards are definitely going to be a staple, but regular tank tops can work just as well as long as they're in the same color palette. Moving away from the more conventional image of this aesthetic, things like blazers, sports bras, and even sweater knits can all fit into this style as long as they're, again, paired with certain items that are more classically ballet. Now you'll notice that a big part of this style's clothing is dressing in a lot of thin layers, and wearing something like a wrap top is one of the easiest ways to layer in this style. Something else that's really signature to this aesthetic are crop shrugs or boleros, and they're super functional too. You can really change the look and the warmth of an outfit without compromising the silhouette. And also make sure to experiment with different fabrics. You can experiment with sheer materials to make an outfit look more delicate, or more heavier fabrics to give the opposite effect. For bottoms, a wrap skirt is definitely a staple that makes your outfit scream balletcore. But honestly, again, since this is just a style aesthetic and not necessarily what actual ballet dancers wear, things like leggings and biker shorts can work as well. If you want an edgier look, you can definitely try cargo pants or track pants, just as long as they're in the same color palette. Dresses can also definitely fit into this style, but definitely look towards more delicate accents like bows, or lean into more feminine silhouettes like A-line or fit and flare. Now moving on to accessories, leg warmers are essential for this aesthetic and should be one of the first things that you pick up if you want to try this style. Sheer tights are also great if you want to embody the more traditional image of a ballerina. For these, I would recommend sheer white or pink tights, and definitely consider printed tights as well to give more interest to the outfit. You know, a lot of the styling choices seem to lean towards adding warmth without hiding the silhouette, which I mean makes sense because if you were a ballet dancer, you would always be looking in the mirror to make sure your form is perfect. Socks are also seen a lot, especially when paired with ballet flats, and they can range from all sorts of lengths, from crew length to knee-high. As I mentioned a little bit, you're going to see a lot of bows and ribbons in this style, and this again adds to the hyper-feminine and coquette adjacent styles in this aesthetic. And these bows can really go anywhere, like in your hair, as a necklace, with your socks, on your headphones. They'll help to also add texture to your outfit and make it more dynamic. In terms of jewelry, they definitely tend to wear more dainty jewelry. Things like small pendant necklaces or delicate chokers are perfect. And for earrings, I'd say things like small hoops or diamond or pearl studs tend to be best. Anything too large or too chunky might look bizarre compared to how delicate the rest of the outfit is. I would also stay away from chunky bangles or I guess like stiff bracelets that move a lot on the wrist. I think both gold and silver can work really well with this aesthetic as long as it remains delicate. Pearls are also a great addition to this style and again lean into the more feminine and coquette aspects of balletcore. The makeup this style tends to follow is always pretty light and fresh. This ties in with the overall light and delicate nature of this aesthetic. There's really nothing dark or spicy going on in balletcore, so it might look a little bizarre if you pair your outfit with a really dark lip or smoked out wing liner. In this way, it's very similar to the clean girl aesthetic of makeup. You don't need to do a lot of eyeshadow or bronzer, and you want to stay away from anything that's way too matte or too sparkly. Something you can go hard on is probably the blush because again, it's a very feminine aesthetic. Overall, I would focus on having a fresh complexion, so that means clear skin, clean brows and lashes, and glossy lips. Moving on to hair, a ballet bun, whether messy or slick back, is going to be the key hairstyle for this aesthetic. Braids also can look very effortless in this style, especially when it has a ribbon at the bottom or incorporated throughout the braid. And I'd say definitely if you want to have your hair down, something simple just like putting your hair back with a claw clip can look really nice with these outfits. And finally, on to my favorite part of any outfit, and that is the shoes. There's actually a lot of different options that you can play with in this aesthetic. Ballet flats are obviously going to be your default option for shoes, but there's so many different fabrics and materials that you can try out. Instead of just sticking to satin ballerinas, you can try different fabrics or materials such as leather, patent leather, suede, and even velvet. And you can also switch up the toe shape. The ones that I'd recommend the most for this aesthetic are almond toe, square toe, and round toe. Super pointed shoes may look strange with this aesthetic because it contradicts the really soft, romantic nature of this style, and it also takes away from some of the more athletic elements of this aesthetic. Sneakers are also super loved in this aesthetic and really lean into the more athletic side of balletcore. You can pretty much wear any kind of sneaker you want as long as it fits with the general color palette of this aesthetic. Ugg boots, especially when paired with leg warmers, are a really great option when it's cold or you just don't want to wear ballet flats. If you want a less conventional choice, something like moon boots can actually be really great. These types of just chunky boots are less dainty, but at the same time they're very cute and fun. While you can definitely find heels being styled in this aesthetic, especially those that replicate the actual point shoes, I wouldn't recommend anything like super tall stilettos or sandals, like sandal open-toed heels. I think those just don't really normally fit into the traditional image of a ballet dancer, and therefore you don't really see them that much in this aesthetic. So what do you guys think? Would you guys try this aesthetic? I personally like this aesthetic because it balances something that's really cute and fun and like princess-like with something still practical enough and something that I'd be willing to wear and stay in for the entire day. Make sure to follow me on my Instagram and TikTok. I post a lot of fashion content and outfit inspo on there as well. And if you like this video, definitely consider subscribing so we can all nerd out on fashion together. And again, if you're looking to try out this aesthetic and you want a ready-made starter kit, definitely check out the folder of items that I've linked in my LTK down below. But until then, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!